Stand by for special breaking news from NYY Recaps. The live show is about to begin.
Welcome to Yankee Stadium.
New York City.
Just when they thought I was out, they pull me back in.
How's it going, everybody? All right, so if you're like me, you've got Jeff Passan on alerts. So whenever he tweets something during the offseason like he just did, we're able to quickly find out. And he just posted a tweet that the Yankees are requiring outfielder Alex Verdugo in a trade with the Boston Red Sox for right-handed pitchers Richard Fitz, pretty good prospect, Greg Weissert, you might remember him, he's got that nasty slider, and Nicholas Judas, I don't know him. Sources familiar with the deal tell ESPN. Now, we do know that Brian Cashman said that the Yankees wanted to get two outfielders this winter. There's been a lot of talk about Juan Soto. There's been a little bit of talk about Kevin Kiermaier. I think Alex Verdugo does not necessarily rule them out for Juan Soto, although it does take away a little bit of that Padres leverage that they had. Now, we're going to take a look real quick at Verdugo's StatCast data. But before we do that, I want to take a couple of comments. Robert West says, I hated Verdugo. First of all, he always plays well against the Yankees, it seems. But he is a guy that I think he's had some, behavioral issues is the best way to put it, where he's been benched for either not hustling or dogging it, whatever, a few times. At least that's my understanding. I may be wrong about that. I haven't looked a lot into Verdugo because I didn't think he would be an option. He is a left-handed bat. We know that the Yankees need left-handed bats. Here's something that you might consider. Maybe the Yankees picked up Verdugo as a replacement for Juan Soto for the Padres. So he might be somebody that the Yankees spend a little bit of capital, prospect capital, to go get Verdugo because they want an outfielder back. They want to compete. And obviously, Pereira didn't do much. So, you send Pereira back to San Diego. It doesn't really help them out that much. A left-handed bat who hits for a little bit of contact. Now let's take a look at his numbers. He hit 264 this year. 13 home runs, 144 hits, 324 on-base percentage, 745 OPS. Now, he's better than, Willie Calhoun or Jake Bauers or, some of these other also-rans that we've put out there. You look at his expected batting average, it's well above average. You look at his spray chart, you see that he had a lot of extra base hits, a lot of doubles off of that monster. Those are probably outs at Yankee Stadium, most likely. So, at least a fair number of them. He has some power. You see a couple of nukes out there towards right center field. Hits the ball up the middle a lot. His chase percentage, his whiff percentage, his strikeout percentage, all very good. His arm strength, very good in the outfield. His sprint speed, a little bit below average, but essentially average, 48th percentile. I got to say, I'm not sure how to feel about this because I don't know for sure that it's going to be a long-term Yankee move. Now, if you're plugging him in as, your fourth outfielder, I can live with that. But if this takes you out of the Juan Soto deal, if you decided, Brian Cashman, that Juan Soto is too expensive and you'd rather get Alex Verdugo, well then, I'm just not happy with that. But I do think that this is an interesting move because the Yankees didn't give up a ton. Richard Fitz is a pretty good prospect. I'm gonna see if I can pull up his stats from minor league baseball this year. So he pitched in Double-A, very good numbers, 11-5. Oh, the cookies! I always got to accept the cookies. 11-5, 3.48 ERA. A lot of innings, 152 and 2/3 innings, 163 strikeouts. He's 23 years old, so a little bit old to be in Double-A and not be in the major leagues. Went to Auburn, very good college for baseball. So, it seems like a fair deal. Red Sox need some pitching coming up. Yankees need a left-handed outfielder. It'll be interesting to see if the Yankees choose to hang on to Verdugo or not. Jack Amir says, I like Verdugo for the bag of balls they gave up.
Bing!
Ian's Insight says, people are acting like this means no Soto. We don't know what it means yet. This feels like the first in a series of domino moves, but my initial reaction when I heard it, it was one of those from out of left field trades, no pun intended, kind of like the Josh Donaldson deal a couple years ago. So my first reaction was WTF, and I believe I actually even put that in the title. According to Brian Hoke, it's just the 8th trade between the Yankees and the Red Sox since 1969. It'll be interesting to see where Shohei Ohtani ends up, because that will set off the rest of the domino effect as things progress through this winter. Again, if you're just joining us, the Yankees got Alex Verdugo, 27 years old, bats left, throws left, 6 foot, 210 pounds, former second-round draft pick of the Dodgers. I believe he was part of the Mookie Betts deal. 281 career hitter, 337 on base percentage, so contact guy, doesn't strike out a ton. As you can see, he's got a very good and very accurate arm in the outfield. I think he profiles as kind of like maybe like a slower version of Brett Gardner. Brett Gardner towards the end of his career, after he lost some power or lost some speed, but still had just a little bit of pop, just enough contact just to be pesky. But Brett Gardner was a very, very well-liked and cherished member of that clubhouse. And what we heard from Verdugo is there might be a few issues. But I do think, just from a baseball standpoint, he kind of fits the outfield and what the Yankees need. But I hope it doesn't take him out of the Juan Soto sweepstakes. I would not be shocked, like I said earlier, if this is step one of a move, and then step two is dealing him to San Diego as part of a package to get Juan Soto. We've seen the Yankees kind of do moves like that where guy gets traded multiple times in the same offseason. It happened with Isaiah Kiner-Falefa just a couple of years ago. He was with the Texas Rangers. He was acquired by the Minnesota Twins, and then 2 days later traded to the Yankees. NR444 says, can he play center? Well, his fielding run value is in the 45th percentile, so he's below average, and his speed is in the 48th percentile. So again, just average. Range is well above average, but I think that's factoring him in as a right fielder, left fielder. I mean, it looks like he's played mostly right field in Boston. I don't picture him as a center fielder. I picture him as a left-handed outfielder that the Yankees are going to move probably around corners, left field, right field, if they don't move him. Let's see here. John Cipolla says, welcome to the stream, Sox fans.
Absolutely, hey.
Chris Lewis says, is this Glaber for Verdugo? So that's an interesting comment. There were some reports maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago that the Yankees had considered a Glaber Torres for Alex Verdugo trade. Now, if that was the case, they've definitely gotten a better deal than sending Glaber Torres. Glaber Torres, one of your best hitters on the team, whereas Alex Verdugo, you got him for a couple of minor leaguers. That's so you keep Glaber, you add a left-handed bat. I like it. Brian Perez says Soto to Dodgers. Is that a real thing, or are you just trolling me here?
I don't think we're asking the right question.
I'm gonna, just to keep things honest, keep the chat honest, I'm gonna pull up Jeff Passan's Twitter account and just kind of keep an eye on what happens. Jeff Passan. Why do I always say Passan? That's how I read it, but it's Jeff Passan. I put the emphasis on the wrong syllable. WNBC. Christopher Ogden says, I would be okay with Alex, Cody, and Yamamoto. Appreciate the super chat. But Jeff Passon says the acquisition of Alex Verdugo should not take the Yankees out of the Juan Soto sweepstakes. That is good to hear. New York has sought left-handed outfield bats, and Soto, one of the best in Major League Baseball. You don't stop chasing stars.
More of that, please.
Mind says, I love this move. It's interesting to see the different perspectives. Some people are up on it. Some people are down on it. I was a little perplexed by it out of the gate. The more I sit and think about it, I'm okay with it. I don't want it to take us out of the Juan Soto sweepstakes. There have been some comments about whether or not he has problems with the Yankees fan base. I think that's common of a lot of Red Sox players. He's a guy who's, not afraid to kind of show his emotions on his sleeve. I think that might play well in New York. Jameson Witt says, do you think he'll be in the Soto package? That's a good question. That is a good question. I don't know. I'm as stunned by this as you guys are. We had heard Alex Verdugo during the season, so you think that, maybe there's some interest in him. That's why I had an Alex Verdugo highlight reel ready to go, but I didn't think that it would happen during the offseason. I thought maybe if Alex Verdugo was coming to the Yankees, it would be at the trade deadline while the Yankees still had a chance and they just needed some offense. But as TP says, definitely perplexed.
High five.
And Anuki says, this is a bad move. If you have comments like that, bad move, good move, follow up. Let us know why you think that. It'll make, I'll put it on the screen and it'll make for better entertainment for those folks. Chris 6D says GTA 6.
More of that, please.
Loved the trailer for GTA 6. And by the way, more of that, please, is back. You might notice we got a lot more animations this year. I've been working a lot in the offseason. People are asking me, Derek, why aren't you going live every day? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? What I do is, I recap every game during the regular season, just about. I mean, we miss a couple of them. But that doesn't give me a lot of time to actually work on the show. So every year we learn new things, try new things, and then during the offseason, I try and implement those things. So we've got a lot of new things going on. X-Wing Class says it looks like a solid move, but Verdugo will be packaged in a deal for Soto, in his opinion. That's one thing we should get used to. The autocorrect changing Verdugo to Vertigo. That's going to happen a lot. Andrew Calabria says, this move caught me off guard.
I hardly agree.
TP Joseph, the chat is really active, says, scares me that the Sox now need a right fielder. Not Soto or Ohtani, please. Soto hits the ball so well that, or he hits the ball really well to left field. I really think that he would be amazing in Boston. He actually hits the ball better to left field than right field. You know what we're going to do is we're going to pull up Juan Soto's StatCast and take a look at his spray chart because it's phenomenal. And you can see that he's got massive power to the opposite field. You don't see a lot of lefties with this many home runs to the opposite field and to center field. And that's the mark of a really good swing. Now, we just showed Alex Verdugo. We just showed his MLB percentage ratings via StatCast, and he had some red, but you look at Juan Soto and the difference is clear. You're not going to stop going after Juan Soto. These numbers are ridiculous. He's among the best in the league across the board and everything. One thing that's very interesting is the sweet spot, which is something that we know that the Yankees value. It's something that they've been trying to get Anthony Volpe to do more, is hit the ball on the sweet spot. I'll settle for hitting the ball, but hitting the ball on the sweet spot, they're starting to value that stat more. And Soto only hits it in the 5th percentile of Major League Baseball, which is very odd to me for somebody who has had as much success as he's had in his early career. So, Lori C says, Verdugo hates Yankees fans. It is what it is.
It's what it is.
what it is. It's what it is. What it is. It's what it is.
Dr. Hitskin says, I thought we were getting Soto, and then this happens. That's how Brian Cashman likes to do it. But I would not be shocked if there are more moves to come. Brian Cashman knows he's got to fix this team. Whether we include Verdugo as part of a trade for Soto or whether we hang on to him, at least we're starting to do something, starting to move the ball forward a little bit, starting to recognize that just having right-handed hitters in a stadium built for lefties is not a good strategy. We have got another super chat. This is from Yankees 286.
Yes! Hell yeah!
He says, if we aren't out on Soto or Bellinger, I like it. And I'm going to go ahead and agree. As long as we're still in it on Soto, I think that this has a chance to work out. This probably takes us out of the Kevin Kiermaier sweepstakes, for sure. Tyler Durden says, dumbass move like we expected. Oh, Tyler Durden. I got a sound for you. Let's see here.
If this is your first night at Fight Club, you have to fight.
This is in case there's a brawl this season, but since your name is Tyler Durden.
Put your dukes up. I'm like, I got fucking no dukes.
Danny Wagner says, what is Verdugo's contract like? That's a good question. I'm going to pull it up real quick. I was not prepared for that. Bear with me. There's a website called Spot Track that has a lot of this information. And it says he is arbitration eligible, the third year of arbitration. And it gives an estimate, $9,216,000. I think they'll settle at $9 million, whoever he's with. But career earnings, you see it goes up every year. So he's due for a raise. Made $6.3 million this year. So due for about a 30% raise. And you see the statistics throughout his career. Career high in home runs, 13. Career high in batting average, 308. He hit 294 with the Dodgers in 2019. He hit 308 with Boston in 53 games during the COVID season. I'm not going to count that one. 289 the following season in 146 games. One thing I do like about Verdugo, just from looking at his stats, is that he plays a lot. He stays on the field. 140 games, 150 games, 140 games. I mean, it looks like he's hardly ever on the injured list, which is something the Yankees have definitely had a problem with. So at least they're making some moves here. Andrew B. says, Cashman's like, we would love to get Soto, but he's no Alex Verdugo. All right, well, hopefully there's more moves forthcoming. I still think that Yamamoto, based on what Bob Nightingale said, based on some of the things that we've heard the Yankees are telling insiders that they feel like they're way ahead. Shout out to Fireside Yankees on that one. It sounds like the Yankees have a really good shot to get Yamamoto. It sounds like they're trying to make Juan Soto work. Would not shock me if that happens even tonight or tomorrow. The Padres have to move him. So if you look at an offseason of Alex Verdugo, Juan Soto, and Yoshinobu Yamamoto, I think, and a full season of Judge, and hopefully they're talking a lot about a bounce-back year from Giancarlo Stanton. I'll believe that when I see it. But, you're making some strides. You're getting a little bit better. Are you better than the Orioles? Probably not. Maybe. It really depends on what type of pitcher Yamamoto is. If Yamamoto comes out and dominates, wins 17, 18 games, and gives you that reliable number two. Let's say Carlos Rodon bounces back a little bit. I don't think he's a 7 ERA guy. I think he might, from now on, because of this back injury, be a 4 ERA guy, which sucks. I mean, it doesn't suck, but we're paying for a 2.5 ERA guy. So we need him to bounce back and at least be respectable. and then we can figure out the offense with, some left-handed bats mixed in. We got Dominguez coming back in probably July. I reached out to him today to see if he'll come on the show, see if he's comfortable doing an interview in English. I guess we'll see. If he says yes, you'll be the first to know. But anyway, let's hear it for the Yankees, at least getting the hot stove going. Lucas Denisi says, what do you think about getting Class A? So the spelling error on the screen, but he's talking about Emmanuel Class A from the Guardians. I was listening to Foul Territory today, and they were talking about how Class A could actually be somebody who gets moved. And if there is any chance at all that Emmanuel Class A gets traded, Yankees 100% have to be in on him. I know he's had some ups and downs, blew a lot of saves this year, but he's also got some of the filthiest stuff in Major League Baseball. Nate Knight says, Soto was on the Yankees. Breaking. Sounds like it's probably fake news. We're going to go to Jeff Passan. Jeff Passan, why the fuck do I keep doing that?
What the f*** is this piece of shit?
I can't pronounce it right. I always screw it up. I don't know. It's something about the way that it's written. You say tomato, I say tomato. I say, we'll see you next time.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies.
I gotta get out of here!
Dr. Hiskin says, can't wait to see Verdugo shave. Love it. More fake news on the Soto thing, for those of you who are listening. And Darth Wacko with the final word says, I hope they flip Verdugo to the Padres for Soto. It may happen. I guess we'll see. All right, guys. I'll be back when the next thing happens. I'll see you next time.